Hi, my name is Lee Johnson, and this month in my mobile and data management course, I'm going to show you how to maneuver and adjust your video using Final Cut X. The first thing you want to do is go to the Final Cut icon on the bottom the bottom of your screen on the dock. Click it. It's going to bounce, 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 bounce. It's going to come up. It's going to say Final Cut X Pro. Now you got to be a little bit patient with this. Sometimes it takes a little while to bring up the interface, but once we pull up the interface, we're going to go right into how to do this. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. There we go. So what you do is go to File, go to Import, click Media, and then it's going to pull up this box, which is the ingest box. Now what happens here is that it's going to locate your card. Well, usually this card would be, labeled for the particular reel that I had on it, which would probably be CIM, City in Motion Card 2. But for some reason it didn't pop that name up. But we're still going to go through the process. Down here in this drop down box is going to show you all the clips that are on that particular reel or that particular SD card. The next stage you go to is import, and that will take your footage into Final Cut X. Mind you, you have to have a name of project. So you go up here and you go to New and you go to Project, which would name your project, which we're going to use King as a project. So I'm going to double click that, and as you can see, I have most of my footage already labeled: Flat Bridge, Cleveland Flats, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, First Energy Stadium, Mike, Free Stamp, Skyline 1 and 2. So what I'm going to do to further show you how I done separated this footage is to go to this button right here, which is the information button, which is going to show my metadata, which shows you the time that I recorded this footage, the dimensions of the footage, the frame rate, 1080i, HD, stereo, 48 kilohertz. Right here is a variety of things you can do with the metadata. You can name your project, which I said this is called Flat Bridge, which in the preview canvas you can see that this is the footage. It tells you the duration of the footage and the end of the footage, the start and the end of the footage, and the duration. You can see right here I did name the card City in Motion Card 2. It has scenes, takes, camera angle, which I call this a long shot, which it was. So I established that. The same thing up here, it shows you the media start, media end, media duration, which is 42 seconds, the frame rate, the frame size, which is 19 times 20 times 1080. The frame rate is 2398, which is 24 frames per second. Your codec is H.264 linear PCM. It's a progressive video. It's two ways that this video comes out: progressive and interlaced. This one happens to be progressive. Your pull down means all the frames came and there was no lost frames. It was shot at 24 frames per second, and your color profile is HD111, which when you get into Kodaks, it'll explain a little more how to understand that particular Kodak, and goes so on and so on. Right down here it has the camera ID, the name of the original clip, which was clip 24 before I named it. The date that it was ingested was April 12, 2015 at 6:41, which correlates with the day that it's not the same date which it was shot, but the same date it was brought into the system. And that's pretty much how you go by ingesting your video and briefly explaining how to get all the necessary information into the metadata, file right here. Oh, here's another thing that I didn't explain. I usually never use basic or general. I use extended so I can put all the necessary information that I need to put in there so I can understand where my footage is and how to locate it. So if I needed to find that long shot of the flat bridge, I just type in keywords and it will bring that one up. So it helps me out a little bit more. So that's the way that you ingest video in Final Cut X. I hope that I explained it pretty clear. Thank you for your time, and you have a good evening.